and everybody else on Kavanaugh Street had put up. The skeletons looked ashamed to be naked. The witches had the faces of fairy godmothers. The bats were so cuddly cute, they might as well have been puppies. There was a vast array of Halloween gear for sale in card shops and drugstores across America, some of it so realistically bloody and meticulously evil it made Gregor, a 20-year veteran of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, cringe. The people of Kavanaugh Street had chosen only those things that could have fit just as comfortably in a Christmas display. On her side of the counter, Mary Ohanian was counting up the honey cakes for the second time, a frown crease wrinkled into her forehead, the tip of a front tooth biting into her bottom lip. Mary was a small girl, not yet 16 and not particularly pretty, but compactly built and congenially pleasant. Gregor had gone all through grammar and high school with her father, her mother, and all three of her uncles.
"When Miss Hannaford called, she said you were to get 2 dozen of these, Mr. Demarkian. You only have 22.
"I know. That's all there were on the shelf."
"We've got some more in the back. I'll get them. I don't think you ought to give Miss Hannaford anything less than what she was asking for."
"More would be all right."
"For Miss Hannaford?"
Mary smiled slightly.
"Yes, I think more would be all right. Let me get the other 2 anyway. It won't take me a minute."
Mary disappeared through the curtain into the back, and Gregor found himself biting back a smile. Miss Hannaford was Bennis Day Hannaford, a woman he had met during the conduct of the case he still thought of as his first extracurricular murder. Through a complicated series of maid friendships and personal dislocations, she had started to spend a lot of time on Kavanaugh Street, and now spent almost all her time here. To the people who knew her well, she was just Bennis the Menace, as Father Tibor Kasparian sometimes put it. A young woman with enormous energy, monumental enthusiasm, outrageous generosity, and a limitless capacity for work, but a crazy person, definitely, whose safety had to be guarded as carefully as an idiot child's. To the people who did not know her, and especially to adolescent girls like Mary Ohanian, Bennis was a kind of goddess, not only WASP and Protestant, but rich, beautiful, and connected to every famous old money name on the Philadelphia main line. Gregor sometimes wondered what people like Mary Ohanian would think if they knew that Bennis woke up every morning of her life, looked in her mirror, and told herself she was getting fat. Mary Ohanian emerged from the back with 2 more packages of honey cakes in her hand and put them on the counter.
"There," she said. "I think you have everything. I wrote it all down."
"So did Bennis," Gregor said, holding up the list she had sent him out with. "Bennis thinks I'd forget to tie my shoelaces if somebody didn't remind me."
"Well,"
Mary said seriously,
"maybe you would, Mr. Demarkian. You do get a little, distracted."
"I never get that distracted."
"My father says that when you and he were in high school, you came in one day with no shoes on at all. And it was February. He said you were studying for some kind of test and you forgot."
It was true. It had been his senior year, in those days before SATs and routinely rationalized college admissions procedures, and he had been working overtime to get an A in Latin. Without that A in Latin, he had been absolutely sure the University of Pennsylvania would not have him. Maybe it wasn't only Bennis whose safety had to be guarded as carefully as an idiot child's. Mary Ohanian had put his honey cakes in a bag along with the other things Bennis had sent him out to get: 3 big round loaves of bread, 4 jars of apple preserves, 6 small bottles of ground spices, 2 lemons, a thick brick of halva. She had used a separate bag for the non-Armenian food, as if she were taking pains to incarnate a not very subtle cultural difference. In that bag were Lay's potato chips, cheese waffles, barbecue-flavored Pringles, pizza-flavored combos, chicken and a biscuit crackers, and God only knew what